Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. I'm Star Sports editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, we were just talking football. You made a very interesting point. Colorado is coming to town this week, and the Buffaloes aren't necessarily as bad as their 2-7 record would indicate, and really seem to be on the cusp of being really decent. If they were to catch up to the rest of the league in the next year or year and a half, how good can the Pac-12 South become?
You can project. I really think the Pac-12 South being as good as the SEC West.
Wow.
And that's, of course, as good as it gets in college football. Mm-hmm. But really, where's your light touch? ASU under Todd Graham is going to be good, unless Florida steals him away, which I think Arizona fans ought to hope for, because he's good.
Right. And Arizona's going to be good under Rich Rod, or decent under Rich Rod, unless Florida steals him away.
And USC's only going to get better, and they're going to get dangerously better.
Right.
And UCLA is always going to have good players. They're not going away.
Right.
And Colorado shows signs of being really good. Utah's still, to me, the wild card, but I like their chances. I really like their future.
Yeah, I mean, you were telling me that you like their chances this week.
I like them to beat the Ducks.
Yeah.
I think they'll physically beat up Oregon. That's their game. They're going to physically pound on Oregon. Now, if they get caught up with Mariota just having a stellar game, of course, they'll lose. But, you know, in Las Vegas, it's an 8-point game. I think Utah's going to be right there at the wire.
If Utah were to beat Oregon, just throwing this out there, it would mark maybe the greatest regular season performance, certainly in their history and maybe in the history of the Pac-12 South. They will have beaten Michigan at Michigan, USC at home, Oregon. It would have been within a field goal of playing with or beating ASU.
No kidding. You know, they went 13-0, or was it 14-0 about 7 years ago?
Yeah, with Urban Meyer, yeah.
And they beat Alabama to finish it off, and that's forgotten. Yeah. To the credit of the Salt Lake people in general, I think, they realized that was a minor league, and now they're in with bigger boys. And this is the biggest boy this week for them. That's the game of the week to me, is Oregon at Utah.
Sure. Greg, you were born in Utah and lived there and went to school at a rival Utah State. Me and you have gone back there a couple of times for football games. I'm not sure your average Pac-12 football fan appreciates just how important football is in the city of Salt Lake.
And they piggybacked BYU because BYU for 30 years, even though they didn't always have the personnel, they're always ranked because they played in a bad league and they had quarterbacks of a star nature. So Utah kept going, finally got the right coach in there. The city responded. They have the right size stadium, 45,000 people. They fill it. They've got a terrific student section, the MUS. And when we're talking about the future of the Pac-12 South, Utah's going to be a big factor in it.
Wow.
And that doesn't help Arizona.
No, and who would have thought that 2 years ago?
Yeah, they're in over their heads in virtually everything else in the league except gymnastics and basketball.
Yeah, they're getting better at basketball. Yeah.
But, you know, otherwise they're not ready yet. But in football, they got ready in a hurry.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. For Greg Hansen, calling his shot this week. I like it. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
It's game time here at Albertsons, so listen up. It's our goal to help you score great deals. So pay attention to the game plan, because you could win Cardinal season tickets, the chance for your child to be a Cardinal kickoff kid, or $10,000 cash and other prizes. Here's what you do. Look for this tag, buy $10 worth or more. Grab your prize code at checkout and enter it at scoregreatdeals.com. Now let's play football. Get in the game for your chance to win.